we finally leave them. And maybe that's what we're really afraid of. Not being ready to let go. The first day of my junior year dawned hot and cloudless after a week of gloom. It was the perfect weather for a beach trip. And I couldn't decide whether that was depressing or just inevitable in Southern California. I stumbled toward the bathroom, already second-guessing the jeans and sweater I'd laid out the night before. That was when I glanced in the mirror. My impossible hair hung in loose waves instead of its usual tangled curls. It looked like those pictures on beauty blogs that explain how to get French girl hair, as though switching shampoos can change your nationality. No matter how much I reassured myself that everything would be fine, I knew how this went. And so I biked the mile between my house and Laguna Canyon High with a sense of impending doom. The whole way, I kept trying to work out what disaster might be waiting for me. I didn't have any assignments due, other than the summer reading for Mr. Cope, Wide Sargasso Sea, which sounded like a euphemism for a vagina, but was actually a novel about post-colonialism. I guessed it could be a pop quiz in English, or some hideous group project in French, or a lemonade spilled down the front of my shorts. But somehow, I knew it wouldn't be that easy. My phone vibrated gently as I biked past Canyon's football field. My 5-minute warning before the warning bell. I like to think of it as my anti-social alarm, since it got me to school with just enough time to cut across the parking lot, dock my bike at the rack, and slide into my seat in advisement, without having to talk to anyone. Advisement was the same group of students all 4 years, and there was literally no point to it. No one stood for the Pledge of Allegiance, no one had any announcements, no one cared. Plus, Mrs. Yoon taught biology, so we didn't even get desks. Instead, we had to sit at 4 top lab stations, on stools, in alphabetical order. Although I'd rather have an assigned seat than be forced to call out here at 8 o'clock every morning, especially with a last name like Asher, which usually placed me first on the roll sheet. At my station were Sean Baker and Colton Barnes, who promptly went to sleep inside their flipped-up water polo hoodies, and Darren Choi, who studied through every advisement with his headphones blasting hip-hop, which meant I could either pretend to be fascinated by the lab safety posters or dig out a book of my own. Despite my good hair day, the universe remained suspiciously well-behaved that morning. Mr. Cope went over the syllabus and begged us to cover our textbooks with paper bags. And then Ms. Dubois, a.k.a. Madam of the Perpetual Headache, put on The Adventures of Tintin. We'd already watched it last spring, and Darren, who was across the aisle, shot me an eye roll over this. I rolled back. At lunch, I sat with the same group of girls who'd adopted me out of pity back in middle school. I guessed we were friends, but it didn't really matter what we were, because lunch tables are just another version of assigned seating. It's like when teachers tell you to partner up for a group activity. Most people pick from whoever's sitting right there, because it's easier than packing your stuff and moving across the room. Eventually, you start choosing the same people out of habit, without even considering the other options. There were 4 of us at my lunch table, which sat under the shaded overhang of the math building. An up-and-coming neighborhood, cool kids adjacent. I joked one time, and Delia had practically murdered me with her glare. Some friend groups are defined by a sport everyone plays, or an extracurricular everyone joins. But we were defined by Delia Kelly. We were her subordinates, the adjectives to her noun. Mrs. Kelly taught at our middle school, and back then, Delia had used her mom's classroom as her private clubhouse. She'd ushered us into the cool air conditioning.